Okay, let's talk about this question. You're going to have problems like this on your tests and on your midterm where you have to show some work. And on the midterm, you're going to have to type it. That I put in the directions here, you can upload handwritten solutions. It's not going to be like that on the test. Definitely not going to be like that on the midterm and the final. You're going to have to type in your solutions. So the whole point of this problem is to get you used to typing in solutions. So, of course, the first thing you would want to do if you're going to do a problem like this is at least you'll have scratch paper, at least write up your solutions real quick. So I have done that. Say, here are the problems. And like, when I type it up, I'm going to fill this in, but I skipped a step here on this first problem. We're just using the rules of limits here, and the rules of limits say you can distribute across addition. It's the one I skipped. I'll put it in when I type it. You can factor out constants, and then if you know something, you just plug it in. So you can see here what I've done is I've taken that limit and distributed it across subtraction here. Anything you can do with addition, you can do with subtraction. Then I pulled the 6 and the 2 out of the limits. Then I know the limit as x approaches 8 of f is 8. I was told that. I know the limit as x approaches 8 of g is -8. I was told that. So I'll replace those. Now I have evaluated those limits. I don't have to write limit anymore for this particular problem because I've done the limit. You have to write limit until you take it. Once you've taken the limit, you stop writing limit. And then it's just cleaning up. That's just arithmetic. Here on the second one, we've got this limit we're trying to calculate. So I'm going to distribute the limit over that subtraction. The limit of a constant is just that constant. So I've now done that limit. I don't have to write that limit anymore because the limit of 6 is just 6. This, I can pull that 2 outside the limit. And I know the limit is x approaches 8 of f. I already know that. That was 8. And then just clean up. Part C, I'm taking those things I just did and dividing them. I don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Rules of limits say if you've got yourself a fraction and you're taking a limit, as long as the denominator is not 0, when you take the limit, you can distribute that limit top and bottom. Then I already know this limit. That was part A. I already did it. It was 64. And I already know this limit. That was part B. That was -10. So I'm done. Just write them down. Same exact thing here. When you're taking a product, you can take the limit of each one individually and then multiply the limits together. I've already done both of these limits, so I just multiply them together and get -640. Okay, so how would we type that up? Well, like if you're not great at typing these up, you can just do the best you can. You could just write limit, and maybe you write x to 8 of 6f minus 2g. Like, it's not necessary to write the of x's here. Those are all implied. Equals, and then you would distribute that limit. So you would write limit as x goes to 8 and distribute 6f minus limit x goes to 8 of, what was it, 2g. And then you could just keep going across if you want. I'm saying I would accept this. This is really ugly. We're going to do better in a minute. Then I could pull that 6 out in front of that limit. Pull that 2 out from in front of this limit. plus G. And then I'm running out of room there. Maybe I would come down here and say, oh, wait, I know these limits. Did I lose my F here? I think I lost my F right there. Yeah. I know the limit as X goes to 8 of F is 8 and so forth. So I just type all this out. This would be 6 times 8 minus 2 times negative 8. And then you do all the work. What was it, 64? Yeah, 48 plus 16. Okay, so like I can figure out how to grade that. That's really ugly, but I could grade it. Let's type it up so that it looks nice. You could use the math quill here and type limit. And then if you put a little underscore here and then write, see how I've got these little braces here that I'm going to type in. This will be the underscore for the limit X to 8. And then watch what happens when I click out. Oh, look how pretty that is. So I'll do that again. Or you can just see it there. If you want something to go away, it's kind of a pain here. If you want something to go away, you got to highlight the whole thing and delete it. You can come in here and find math looking symbols for when we get into more complicated problems. Like here, I could just copy over this limit. And then I could just change that to an 8. And then when I click out, it'll make it nice and pretty. And then what did we have? We were taking the limit of 6F minus 2G equals. And then the best way to write this is not all straight in a line like we were doing a minute ago, but to go down with each equal sign. So I'll write out the first line here, and I'm going to type it nice and pretty. Limit underscore X to 8 what do we want here? 6F minus, I could put that inside a new one, minus limit underscore X to 8. What do we have here? 2G. And then I would come down to the next line and I would try to space it over to get the equal signs lined up, but it's not necessary. Don't stress about it too much, but it would look better if you keep all your equal signs lined up. Now, if you know any LaTeX at all, you can also do this in LaTeX. So I could do lim X to 8. And I think I do need that inside there. So inside these bars, you can type LaTeX, lim X, and this is how you do the arrow in LaTeX. That's how you do a limit. And so forth. So there are a lot of ways to get this typed up. Again, if you want something to disappear, you have to highlight the whole thing, get in there and make it disappear. And then sometimes it gets mad at you and doesn't want to disappear. Why won't it disappear? There it goes. Okay, similar thing here. If I want to type this up, I could just type it. Like I could type f of x plus h equals, and what would that be? That would be x plus h quantity squared minus twice x plus h plus 3. That's right there. That's part A. So maybe I could come back here and say A. And then move down here because I'll be able to see your whole thing. If I want that to look a little mathier, I could put that same exact expression here. I've just highlighted it and hit the add new math. And now look how much prettier it looks. Or I could have opened this up first and typed inside here, and it would have generated it looking nice and pretty. There's also the squared function there if you want to use that. It doesn't come out as pretty. This is much better looking. Okay, so I want you to get in here, practice these, make sure you know how to type up this math nice and pretty so that on the test and on the midterm, when I ask you to do this, it's not going to be every problem, it's just a few of them. You'll know the most efficient way, you'll have some practice with it, and your test and your midterm will go much better. In fact, I think I'm going to change the directions because it says here, you can upload handwritten solutions. I know you're not going to be able to do that on the midterm. So let's not do that.